Greetings, friends and followers. This is Nurses Talking, and I am Dale Barzy. As always, if you like what you see and hear, subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Here on Nurses Talking, we speak to nurses anywhere in the world and at any stage in their nursing journey. Today, I am very, very pleased to welcome Shadae Gray out of Antigua in the West Indies. Shadae is a third-year nursing student at the University of the West Indies, the Five Islands campus. She is a representative of her school, health and behavioral sciences. She's committed, she says, to serving the Lord. She loves public speaking. She loves taking part in outreach programs to promote health and wellness. So, welcome, 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 Shade.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Well, firstly, I want to know who, or what inspired you to choose nursing as a career?
Hmm. That's a big question, right?
Mm,
There's so much story to that question.
okay.
But just to start it off,
Uh-huh.
I've always had the passion to care for people,
Mm-hmm.
but nursing wasn't my first passion, right?
Okay.
But I've
Mm-hmm.
always had that sense of what should I say, passion to work in the healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just to make it a bit more clear, I wanted to become a doctor. But when
Mm-hmm.
that didn't work out, it took a toll to me, right? And I remembered my mom was there and she very much encouraged me to look for other areas where I can, you know, fill that area in, that I can
Mm-hmm.
pursue my passion because it's not only doctor. We have so many
So
other areas in the healthcare system that one can,
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And so I thought about nursing. Plus, I have a uncle that's a nurse in Jamaica. And so
Mm-hmm.
whenever he, run into any situation and any little encounters, he would tell me about them because I would ask him about his experience. And he would tell me how nursing is. And so it really, I really liked what I heard from him. And so he had me there. And I thought about doing it. And then I tried reaching out to the university in Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, for some reason, I heard that the program is discontinued. And so my only option was to contact my dad. And I remember he called me and he was like, I can do nursing over there in Antigua because I sent him on this chase to go to how much university to find out if they do nursing. And when he went to UWI, Five Islands, they told him
Yeah,
that yes, they did nursing.
yeah.
They offer that program. And I was like, ooh, there it is. And so I applied and I got through. And when I came here, no, it was like I didn't have no friends here. And so it was very much a journey. And I have no regrets. I have no regrets. God really guided me and He guided me well.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that's interesting that you tell me that they've discontinued the program in Jamaica because I really wasn't aware of that.
Right. I don't know. I got the email from the school, but I don't believe so. I just,
I know that the program in Trinidad is certainly ongoing, and in
right.
Antigua is ongoing, and I'm pretty sure in Barbados as well.
Mhm.
And so if the other three campuses are doing it, I don't understand why it wouldn't be done in Jamaica. So maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
We'll
don't know.
find out anyway. But you said that it's it was the thing for you. It was the thing for you. Those are
Right,
not
right.
quite the words you used, but that was it. But what challenged you? So now you're in nursing school. What are the
Mhm.
challenges for you?
Okay, so at first it was balancing between clinicals and classes. So we had to go onto the clinical sides and we have classes. So
Hmm.
when we have to go to the hospital on Monday, we have classes on Tuesday. And so
Hmm.
it's like because my batch is a big group, it's like 23 of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to split us up into shifts. And so one take the morning shift and the next set take the night shift.
Mm-hmm.
And so whosoever is on a night shift would kind of get a disadvantage because they would have to wake up the next morning early enough to get ready to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it was all up to time management,
Yeah.
honestly, because, knowing that when we come off the clinical site and go to school, we have our own assignments and, things to do, not to mention our own life. And so I dealt with that through managing my time.
Mm-hmm.
That was very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Yeah. 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 A lot of nursing is time, well, a good bit of nursing is time management, of being
Right, right,
successful in it, actually. Yeah, it's time management. So what, right now, you're in your third year of a 4-year program, yes?
right. That's right.
So at this point, what, and that's just at this point, what are your areas of interest right now? What grabs you
My
right now?
areas of interest. Okay, so I haven't gone to a few of the other wards like ER and ICU,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but at first I thought that okay, I would decide that when I finish. But when I went to the maternity ward, it really left me with a nice impact, a great impact. And so I thought about doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And they also offer that course at UNO.
Yeah.
And so when I'm finished and I need to do that course, that's available and I can always go and do that program.
Mm-hmm.
And also I like surgical. So I really enjoyed my time there at the hospital and surgical ward.
Mm-hmm.
It was it was very good. It was good. I have no complaints.
Okay, okay. So I have another question then. Do you, now you're a student and you have all the support that you need, um, what do you see or what do you anticipate might be the challenge in shifting from student nurse to graduate nurse?
Mm. Honestly, transitioning from a nursing student to a nurse, I really asked myself, am I ready for that?
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
do I have enough knowledge to go from a nursing student to a nurse to be on
yeah,
my own? Well, not necessarily on my own, but it is, when we are a
yeah,
nursing student, we have to
mhm,
have the supervision of a nurse. But
yeah,
now
yeah,
it's like being a nurse, we are licensed. And
yes.
so we have to know how to do certain things on our own. And it's just that question, am I ready? Is it enough? How much do I know? How much do I need to know? And yeah,
And that's why I ask it, Shade, because I think every person gets there to
mm,
that question. And I don't know from it's been so long that I really truly don't remember if I actually thought about that prior to it
mm,
happening. But I really feel that people need to be given the opportunity to really think about that and understand that, this is cocoon that you're in. It's
right,
nice. It's nice, but soon comes the day when, you've got to stand that you've got to stand on your own feet. Your brain got to work all by itself, and you've got to make those decisions, and sometimes very quickly, um, because
right.
someone's life is in your hands.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. Just from current observation, um, is there anything you think you would like to see change about nursing or even nursing education?
Interesting. So before we started to work on the clinical site,
Uh-huh.
during clinical rotations,
Mm-hmm.
we were told that not all nurses will be willing to work with us, because everybody is different. And so
Mm-hmm.
while you have some nurses who are willing to, teach us, take the time out to really show us how to do certain things, is not we're not gonna find out with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a thing where we had to really scout out the nurses that, you know, willing
Mm-hmm.
to accept us
Yeah.
and work
Mm-hmm.
with us. And so
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that more nurses step into that, position where they become educators, like preceptors, that
Mm-hmm.
they are willing to do so.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if they don't do so, then they won't have they don't they can't raise up the future nurses to be competent and well trained and skilled, like fully skilled,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because we lean on those nurses to teach us. We lean on
Yes.
them so that whenever we go into that um area, we are fully, skilled, like we know what to do. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like they have to teach us, they have to be within.
I
Right.
get that. But so now that brings up another question in my mind, because do you think that it's all about willingness, or do you think that there is some, do I want to use the word lack? Or maybe there could be more professional development in that area? Because sometimes people may very well be intimidated by the fact that someone is now asking, leaning on them and looking to them. And
Mm.
sometimes that could be because they feel inadequate to fulfill that. And sometimes it comes across as, I don't want any part of that. That could be. What do you think?
I get that. That's true.
That aside, um, you are now in your third year. Um, so far, you would have gained some confidence, right? And be willing to a little bit stand on your own. But what would you say if you had to identify one thing that you think over these last 3 years that you have done well and you stand out well, and what would it be?
Mm. I think that I've done well.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the way how I interact with the patient,
Mm-hmm.
and I've gotten some like good feedback about it from them themselves.
Okay,
And
okay.
they said they like my energy and how I deliver my information, and definitely how I, talk to them.
Yeah.
Because when I was in school, this is one thing that they always teach us. You talk to the patients and you deal with them holistically. So you don't only deal with their physical condition, you're dealing with them from a mental point of view and from an
Yeah.
emotional, spiritual, whatever it may be. They're all people. And
Yeah.
so knowing that, it's like you deliver holistic care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I would say.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And that is really huge, because sometimes, we get to the place where we're looking at we identify the person with the disease, or even maybe the other way
Mm,
around, and
mm,
actually speak of them in terms of their ailment or disease rather than speak of them in terms of a person.
right,
So,
right.
for me, that is huge. Getting that and assimilating it at this point is huge.
Yeah.
So if someone said to you, Shade, I want to be a nurse, what do you think? What advice would you give them?
Mm. I would definitely tell them that it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy road. But if they have a strong reason why they want to get into nursing, why do they want to see themselves in that position, then I believe that they can overcome any struggles, any challenges, or anything that might come their way during nursing school. Because nursing school, sometimes it can get the best of us. It
Mhm.
is, it comes with a lot of work. And so once you know the reason why you're there, you'll get through it and
Yeah,
you'll come out successful.
yeah, yeah. And I'm glad you answered it that way, because that is the very reason why I always started asking people what brought them to nursing.
Right,
Because
right.
that's the very reason. Because sometimes we need to go back and revisit our why.
Yes.
Otherwise, we just give it up.
I do that too.
So, if you had to tell me in one word what you think of as the most essential quality of a nurse, what would that word be?
Mm. I would say compassion.
Compassion.
If a
Compassion.
person have compassion, everything else fall into place, like having patience, humility, tolerance. It's like when you have this love for people, I believe empathy will even show out. And it's key for having empathy because you can understand how a person feels. You can care for them. You can even love them. The
Hmm.
Bible did talk about love, and so
Yeah.
it's important that we love our neighbors as ourselves. So
Hmm.
compassion, I would say that.
And that compassion actually, one of the things that I have learned, for sure, is that that compassion needs to extend beyond the patient. It needs to
Right.
extend to the people with whom we work, beyond to our colleagues, because you know what, our colleagues are human too. And
That's
we
true.
come to work sometimes, not on our best day.
Mm,
To
definitely.
encounter people who are not having a good day either.
Right,
It
right.
can be pretty daunting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I see that. I see that when, it's like a person goes through a period where they, seem a bit distant. And when you
Hmm.
get to know them a bit more, you get to find out that something was happening behind the scenes. That's why they were like that. So,
Yeah.
not jump into conclusion. I had to learn that one, right? Not jump into conclusion when you see a person behaving a type
Yeah.
of way.
Yeah.
Maybe you
Yeah.
can just ask them like, how are you doing? Is there anything on your mind that you feel like you
Yeah.
want to tell? You want to say it to me? You should, yeah, I can keep it confidential.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Or sometimes it's just as simple as helping them with whatever it is they're doing.
yeah,
Sometimes it's just that. I think that we really have to be able to see that our colleagues are part of you know, under that umbrella too.
right, right.
So there's something else I want to ask you about, or two more questions I have before we go, but I really want to ask you about your public speaking because you say that, you public speaking is one of the things you like to do.
Yeah.
So why? I don't even know if why is the word I want to use, but so many people are daunted by speaking in public.
All
So what
right.
what about it gives you a thrill?
What about it? I mean, from high school,
Uh-huh.
I had to do it because I don't tell a lot of people this, but
Uh-huh.
I was the head girl of my high school.
Okay.
And so it
Okay.
kind of, made me have to do
Yeah.
more public speaking and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, talking anywhere I go. I had to be able to do so. And so with that, it kind of helped me to put aside anxiety. Because,
Yeah.
I used to get a bit anxious when I had to do it. Not to say that I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoy doing it because I started it from high school and also in my church
Mm-hmm.
because I had to go up and read, and it really helped me to love public speaking.
Yeah.
So it was trained in me too. I I wouldn't say I had no choice to, but it was like it was enjoyable.
So do you get many opportunities to do it now?
Yes, I do. I come into Antigua.
Mm-hmm.
I found a church. And so in that church, I would usually get the chance to go up the altar, read, and
Mm-hmm.
even commentate, like lead the congress throughout,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that as well. And because I'm the year three representative, I
Mm,
have to
yeah.
talk up for certain matters. So whenever my colleagues come with any concern, I have to make sure that their concerns are heard. And
Yeah.
so I don't take it to a one person. Sometimes I have to take it to many persons. Just the
Yeah. Yeah.
other
Yeah.
day, they had a meeting with nurses and representatives from overseas, different countries, who just want to know how the program is going. And
Mm-hmm.
so, being a year two representative, I know I had to, speak up and
Mm-hmm.
say what our concerns are. And that's one of my responsibilities, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's like public speaking made it a bit more, easier
Yeah.
to really fit into
Yeah.
that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I could see that. I could see that. So I have one last question. We talk a lot about the way we care for others.
Mm,
Um, one of the things, areas in which I think nurses lack
mm,
is caring for ourselves. I think
That's
we're
true.
doing better than we used to. We're certainly doing better than we used to when I was a young nurse. I think so. But still, we can do better. So I have two questions for you. One is, what does self-care mean to you? And two, what do you do to care for you?
Okay. For me, self-care is caring for oneself from the inside and outside.
Mhm.
So one of the biggest things for me is taking care of one's, inward feelings, inward emotions, and health. And mental health is a big part of that, right?
Yeah.
And so I believe that if a person can't take care of themselves, then they won't be able to take care of a patient properly.
Mhm.
Because if you can't care for yourself, how are you going to care for a patient? When I look at it, it's a very funny, funny question.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna care for a patient and not care for yourself first?
Yeah.
And so that's what I have in my mind about self-care. For me, what I do, I have to ensure that I get a proper sleep. So for me, I remember just the other day, because I just did community health nursing.
Mhm.
And I remember telling myself that I have to ensure that I go to bed early enough, because I don't want to meet a client with a down expression, an expression
Mhm.
that shows that I'm not interested in what they're saying, or my mind being clouded because I'm tired, I'm not able to
Yeah.
think properly. And so when I look at it, it affects both parties. It affects me and how I
Yeah.
deal with people outside, like the clients that would come in. Because
Yeah.
when I was working at the clinic, I had to deal with a lot of people with different experiences, people with different opinions. And so I had to make sure that I take care of myself properly so that I have the strength and the energy to deal with
Yeah.
everybody that comes in. And
Yeah.
our next big thing is to communicate with God. I'm a strong believer. And so I make sure I get up in the morning, I talk to God, I have my little devotion before I leave out of the house. I
Mhm.
believe that that really helped my mental health and really carry me throughout the day.
Mhm.
And then, of course, eating healthy, what we eat affects our brain and our body and stuff. And sometimes it's like if we pack ourselves with sugars and all, we'll be feeling very, very tired. I've been there, and it's not a good experience. And so I try to eat as healthy as I can. And that's what I'm doing for myself.
Mhm.
That's what
Mhm.
self-care means to me.
Yeah.
The outside, yes, I do that, but I value what I do for myself inwards more.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
understood. And that's huge. And that's another question that I ask everyone, just because I feel like we tend to, and you know what? It's a female thing, not for
Mhm.
nothing, but it's a female thing that we tend to put everybody else first
Mm.
in many ways, in many ways. And then we get into a profession that is a caring profession that is about everybody else as well.
Right.
So it's that on top of that. And then, God forbid, you're a mother as well. But, you know,
That's
all of those
true.
things on top of one another. And sometimes we get lost in the shuffle. And so, it really is important. And I'm glad that you're taking care of you.
Right.
So,
That's
Shadae, thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you so very much. Any last words you would like to leave us with?
I just thank you for having me. It has been a great experience knowing you as well, and I wish you all the best on your future endeavors. I know you want to make it big, and I pray that you do.
Thank you so much. I wish you all the best too. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
very much
much.
for that. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.